guys, I'm back with another Bible study. I'm going to be in the book of John 2. So I'm going to read John 2, verse 18 to 20. John 2, verse 18 to 20. And also I got few notes that I wrote down, just one. Just one notes that I wrote down based on that specific verse. And so again, John 2 verse 18 to 20. I'm going to read it to you 3 times and then let's do it. So 18, the Jews say to him, "What sign do you show us as your authority for doing these things?" And the reason why the Jews are asking this question to Jesus is because when Jesus entered to the temple, which is the house of his father, he saw people were selling things in his father's house and he got very upset. And because he got upset, he decided to destroy everything. And so when that happened, that's why the Jew has asked him this question. They said, show us as your authority for doing these things, right? For destroying all those things. Here is what Jesus said. Jesus answered them saying, right? Destroy this temple and in 3 days I will rise it up. Again, destroy this temple and in 3 days I will rise it up. The Jews then said, it took 46 years to build this temple and you will rise it up in 3 days. I'm going to read it to you again. The Jews then said to him, "What sign do you show us as your authority for doing these things?" And Jesus said, "Destroy this temple. In 3 days I will rise it up." And here the Jews said, "It took us 46 years to build this temple, and you will rise it up in 3 days." As you can see here, when Jesus said that, the Jews were just in shock because they couldn't believe in what Jesus was talking about. But the reason why they could not understand this is because first of all, they didn't believe in the Lord. And so because they didn't believe in the Lord, there were certain things that the Lord will say to them that to them it was just like a big deal. Like every time that they would hear something coming from Jesus, they were always shocked. Why? Because they could not understand it. That's why the Lord said they have eyes but could not see, they have ears but could not hear, right? Why? Because their ears were, even though they have ears, but their ears were spiritually closed. So whenever Jesus would say things, they just can't get it. And the reason also why they were asking Jesus for a sign, right? They asked Jesus to give them a sign, and now Jesus in the verse that he said, that was the sign, but they couldn't see it as a sign. All they were focusing on at that moment, they were focusing on the temple, but instead the Lord Jesus Christ was not talking about the temple. That's why they have eyes but could not see, because the Lord was talking about something else, not the temple that they think it is. And this verse, one thing, as I was doing my Bible study and when I came across this verse, honestly, the first thing that later on came up to me, I just wrote it down in my notebook. Here's my notes and stuff. One thing that I wrote here was that what can take a human being's 46 years to build or create, God can do it in 3 days. So therefore, don't doubt what God can do. Again, the Jews here were surprised that Jesus can rise this temple in 3 days. But the thing that the Jews don't know is that Jesus, there's nothing that is impossible to him. The reason why they could not understand it is because they don't know him. And so it's hard to understand someone that you don't have a close relationship with. And so that's normal the way they react, because they didn't have a close relationship with the Lord. And so this message is just to tell all of you over there, everyone, whatever the age you are, just one thing you need to remember is this: what God can do is something that people cannot understand. That's why the Jews were confused. Again, what can take a human being 46 years to build or create, God can do it in 3 days because he's God. Because he's God, it can take him 3 days to build something. It can take him even less than that. But here it said 3 days on purpose. Because in here, Jesus was revealing to him his purpose and his assignment on what he was here to do in that moment, but they couldn't get it. But what can take a human being 46 years to build, God can do it in 3 days. So therefore, do not doubt what God can do, because nothing is impossible to him. What can take you 46 years to create or build, remember your Father who's in heaven can build it and create it in 3 days, or even less than that. He can create it just right then if he want to. So trust in the Lord, trust in the Lord, trust in the Lord, because with him nothing is impossible. Thank you guys. I take care. Bye.